What is up, everyone? Good morning and welcome into Wake and Take. We've got football to talk about today. Today, specifically, we're going to build a quarterback tier list looking at the fantasy football season for 2023. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fantastic. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop right on into it. All right. Let's go ahead and start building this thing. We're just going to look at, making a good old tier list. As we did earlier this season, we did it for the rookies, but this time we're going to do it for just fantasy football quarterbacks. We want to look at really just this season. Dynasty, we're not really worried about in this, at least to some degree. So here we go. This is the tier list. And let's go ahead and start it. Let me make sure. Yeah, that looks good. It looks good. Last time we did this, we had some complaints that it was too small. This time, it will not be too small. I figured it out. But let's go. Patrick Mahomes, easy S tier. And in fact, I'm putting him in a tier of his own. I'm not letting anyone touch the Patrick Mahomes tier. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. He's the 101. He's the best quarterback in fantasy football next season and really forever, right? It's Patrick Mahomes. No questions about it. There's nothing to knock against him, anything. So Patrick Mahomes, he's the easy S tier. And then that A tier is going to be that beautiful, like Josh Allen, Jalen Hurts, Justin Herbert we'll throw in there. Let's see. We've got Joe Burrow somewhere, right? There's got to be Joe Burrow. There he is. There's Joe Burrow. This is a great little A tier. Probably just go ahead and throw Lamar in there. And then you could probably throw some Justin Fields maybe. Maybe we'll move these guys down to B, but I think, let's see. That's pretty good for the A tier. Maybe throw T-Law. Throw T-Law up there. I think, that's pretty decent right there. So S tier is Patrick Mahomes. That's it, right? It's just Patrick Mahomes. This A tier is that just next, like almost half a step down where you're still getting tons of fantasy production out of these players, but it's just not as, I guess, like confirmed as you would for Patrick Mahomes, as you like just know what Patrick Mahomes is going to give you week in, week out. And I know at this point, a lot of these other quarterbacks are starting to get there as well and are already there in the case of Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts. But, it's just not Patrick Mahomes. It's just not Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts, for example, hasn't played a full season in his NFL career. Josh Allen was kind of a disappointment last season. Justin Herbert was a little bit of a disappointment last season. Joe Burrow just doesn't quite have the same upside that Mahomes has. Lamar's got the rushing, but there's still some concerns. Kind of same with Justin Fields. Trevor Lawrence could start to put it together. I don't know if he belongs to be in this A tier. He might have to be top of the B tier. But let's go through. Let's not do any backups. Let's just go ahead and go on through. God, I wish there were like half tiers almost. This is pretty tight. Russell Wilson. For now, we're just going to throw in that C tier if we're putting Trevor Lawrence in the B. Kind of same with Derek Carr, but ahead of Russell Wilson probably. Jared Goff, I think you could probably put in that B tier. And while I think of Jared Goff, might as well put Geno Smith in there. Throw some Danny Dimes. I think that would make sense. Get some Daniel Jones in here. He started to look better towards the end of the year and everything. And, hopefully going into year 2 with the new coach and all that, he can kind of continue to put it all together. I think he will. Kirk Cousins, you can probably throw into this tier. This just makes me want to throw Trevor Lawrence up here. That looks a little better. It just looks better. Tom Brady, Tom Brady's an S tier. Let's see, Jimmy Garoppolo, we'll put him at the C tier as well. I like what Jimmy Garoppolo can bring to the table, but he's, not the best. Not the best. Kyler Murray, I want to throw into that B tier just because of the injury concerns. If we'll just kind of throw him at the top. When he comes back, he's probably an A tier quarterback, but right now, he's just not. Plain and simple. Mitchell Trubisky, don't worry about. Matthew Stafford, we can put him in the B tier. Tua, we could put in the B tier. Carson Wentz, we're not going to worry about. Let me make sure these are all backups down here. Well, Baker Mayfield, we'll put in the D tier. Aaron Rodgers. I might get hot here and throw him in the C tier. He didn't have that great of a season last year, and I know he's going to the new team with the Jets, but it might just be a case of good football performances and not great fantasy football performances still. He could maybe, we'll think about it some more. We might throw him at the back of the B tier. But yeah, I see my first comment here from my man Chase. Josh Allen and Hurts not in the S tier. No, man. No, I can't do it. Wait, does it not show that? Oh, wait, it's because I'm scrolled down. Here we go. Yeah, just because, it's just not quite. It's like, it's so close. It is so close. But Patrick Mahomes is still clearly better than Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, even if it's just like so minuscule. I just feel like you've got to keep them separated. I think that that's the best way to do it, just because, I mean, if all three are available, I'm taking Patrick Mahomes 10 times out of 10. And that should be the case for pretty much everyone across any platform, really, any format. Patrick Mahomes is just the guy that you want. So he has to be in a tier of his own, even though it's super close. And I feel like the closeness of like Joe Burrow to Josh Allen is a little bit closer than Josh Allen to Patrick Mahomes. But maybe I'm just a big Patrick Mahomes guy. I don't know. But I feel like they've got to be separated, at least to some degree. Kenny Pickett will throw in that C tier. I think that makes sense. Dak Prescott, probably throw him into that A tier, right? Throw him into the back of the A tier. We might be able to slot some people down, maybe. Yeah. But, Dak Prescott, great offense, slinging it, getting tons of yards on a consistent basis. Just got to get those touchdowns and not turn the ball over. I don't think he'll throw as many interceptions as he did last year coming into the season, so I'll put him in that A tier. Mac Jones, woo. C tier also. I think that makes the most sense. Just kind of, this honestly looks about right. This really does look about right. Taylor Heineke will maybe get to Deshaun Watson, probably that B tier. I mean, I think I've slightly got Deshaun Watson's expectations a little bit higher than I do for Russell Wilson. Maybe top of the C tier. There's like a slight variation in here, I feel like. Kenny Pickett, I kind of want to move up too, just with the rushing upside that he brings. I don't, man. We might play around with this. Let me get the players on the board. Brock Purdy, throw him in that C tier also. I love Brock Purdy, but there's still the concerns about when he's going to be able to play and all that. So not quite a D tier, not quite a B tier. We'll throw him there. Where are we at? Taylor Heineke, Mike White, Tyler Huntley, Malik Willis. Don't have to worry about Gardner Minshew. We'll just throw in the D tier just because he's probably going to start a few games. Desmond Ridder, we got to put him in the C tier. I'm excited for what Desmond Ridder can bring, so that's what keeps him away from the D tier, but he's not quite a B tier. Put him there in the C. So now we've got the rookie quarterbacks. This, I think, is going to be tough. I think probably just honestly, you've got a C tier, these guys. I kind of want a B tier CJ Stroud. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling good about him. Oh, man. Oh, this is tough. Let's just C tier them. We're C tiering the rookies just because they're rookies. It's just going to be a lot. I'm going to throw Anthony Richardson in the B tier, though, just because of that upside that he can bring. I know it's probably a bad one, but yeah, I'm putting him in the B tier just above them. Just because of that upside. I see a question here on Instagram. I guess I missed Lawrence. I think you did, but I put him in the A tier, kind of ahead of Dak Prescott, behind Justin Fields and like Lamar, right behind the rushing guys, but a little bit above Dak. Which, I mean, I think they're basically the same, really. But that's what I've got Trevor Lawrence in the A tier. Will Levis. We'll put in that. Cody's going to get mad, but I feel like you've got to put him under CJ Stroud and Bryce Young. So we'll put him in that D tier. All right. Sam Howell, kind of bottom of the C tier also. Yeah. I almost want to D tier him, but we'll C tier him. We'll C tier the Sam Howell. Gosh, I don't know. We'll D tier him. Sorry, Howell. Is that right? Jordan Love, we'll C tier the Jordan Love. Well, Sam Howell and Jordan Love, those are basically the same. Okay. I think that's everyone. Taylor Heineke, Andy Dalton. We'll put Andy Dalton, Taylor Heineke. We'll put some of these backups that might actually end up starting a few games in here. Oh, Ryan Tannehill. You probably just got to put in the C. Well, I'm going to D tier him as well. I'm going to D tier him with Will Levis. I don't know. The fantasy upside, we'll put him at C. We'll put Tannehill at C. Assuming he's, starting all the games. They've got the play action cooking again, all that fun stuff. That should do it. So this is what I'm rocking with. Any critiques, um, feel free. I think we'll show this off a little bit, maybe talk a little bit about this a little bit more as we're only 10 minutes through. But this is what I think the tier list should look like. You know, I know Tua had a good year last year, so let's move him up in the B tier. Daniel Jones, we could probably I like him right here. Yeah, I mean, this looks. I want to put Kenny Pickett above Aaron Rodgers. I almost want to put Brock Purdy above Aaron Rodgers. Probably Russell Wilson above Mac Jones and Derek Carr. Jimmy Garoppolo, I'll put right here. Desmond Ridder, I want to put above Derek Carr, Jimmy Garoppolo, and probably Mac Jones. Jordan Love, I kind of want to swap Derek Carr and Jimmy Garoppolo too. Okay. This, CJ Stroud, probably got to put ahead of Jimmy. In fact, I'll put him ahead of Jordan Love. Maybe even Mac Jones. Screw it. We're moving CJ Stroud up. We're moving him up. Sam Howell, a little bit better than Derek Carr, I think. Maybe. Worse than Tannehill, though. Bryce Young, above Derek Carr at least. Okay. So this is what we've got. Just going to verbalize this. Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady in the S tier. The Tom Brady doesn't actually count, but if he's going to be on this tier list in the pictures, he's going in the S tier. It's Tom Brady. No questions asked, right? So Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, they're kind of slightly in between S and A, I think. They're A and S and a half, if you will, with Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Justin Fields pretty much being the A tier, with Trevor Lawrence and Dak Prescott, I think kind of being the A and a half, B and a half, but I'm going to put them in the A just because I don't think they're quite a B. Kyler Murray I'm putting into B just because we don't know when he's returning, but I mean, obviously has the upside of an A. Tua, kind of same thing. He's got all the concussion concerns. I know he had a great season last year, but I just don't think you can quite put him in the class of this A-tier quarterback. I just don't think that makes good process sense. He could end up finishing there, but I'm going to just put him in the B tier, at least at the top of it with Kyler. Just for you, Chase, I see you commenting about Tua. I'm going to put him above Kyler. He'll be at the top of the B tier. I feel like that's probably fair. And yeah, I think I almost want to put Tua in, or not Tua, sorry, Dak and Lawrence in here, but I'm not. And then so like this B tier is guys that you're totally comfortable being your quarterback 2 in Superflex. And that's, of course, Jared Goff, because the Lions offense was clicking, firing on all cylinders, and he was a big part of that last year. Geno Smith, kind of same thing, and just out of nowhere became incredibly efficient. Daniel Jones finally showcased his rushing ability, so we'll put him in the B tier. Kirk Cousins with the Viking offense. Matthew Stafford, I think he's going to be healthy this year, and I think he's going to be back to form. And I'm not going to count out the Rams, of course. I mean, Sean McVay is still a fantastic coach. Matthew Stafford's still a really great quarterback. And Cooper Kupp, if we're expecting him to be back, that likely means Matthew Stafford's back as well. So I just think you've got to put him in the B tier, to be honest. I mean, expecting good things from him again. He was a top 5 quarterback a couple years ago. So don't forget that. Do not forget that. So we'll keep him in the B tier. Anthony Richardson, I'm just excited to see that upside, man. I think it's going to be great. And I don't think Anthony Richardson's going to bust, plain and simple. I really think he's got it. He has the character, right? He just interviews so well. And just the heart and everything is there. The athleticism, of course, is all there. We know that. So I'm just going to have to put him in the B tier. And then the C tier is really crowded. These are the guys that you can still use as your quarterback 2 in Superflex leagues. You're not crazy happy about it. I might have to move Deshaun up just because of I'm moving Deshaun up because of what he can bring. I know he had a really bad year last year, but I'm going to have to bump him up. The upside is still there. I think it makes sense for him to have been rusty last year. So yeah, I'll move him up to the B tier. Yeah, man, this is tough. I might have to move. I'm going to move Brock Purdy down just a tiny bit. I think I want, probably like right behind Stroud, ahead of Ridder maybe. Yeah, okay. So Kenny Pickett, I'm expecting big things. He is a little bit of a Konami code. It's understated, his rushing ability, but it's there. Aaron Rodgers, it's just Aaron Rodgers. I don't necessarily want to count him out, but I'm not going to put him in the B tier. So that's kind of the same thing with Russell Wilson. I think both of those guys encapsulate each other. Veteran quarterbacks that have had it, but have kind of lost it. So we'll have to see. CJ Stroud, I'm just expecting he's no matter what starting week 1, he's going to be thrown to the wolves, and I just think he's going to get it. at least to a certain degree. And I just think he'll be a little bit more fantasy relevant than a Bryce Young over the course of the year. So I'm just having him ahead of him in the tier, and in fact, pretty high in this tier. And then Brock Purdy, I just think he'll be back and be the starter for the 49ers, and I think he'll be good with all those weapons. I mean, you just can't count those guys out. You've got to have them high enough on the tier list. Desmond Ridder, again, I'm expecting big things from the Falcons this year, so I've got to expect some pretty good things from Desmond Ridder. And that offense, you just really don't have to turn the ball over to make it efficient. So, I mean, I think he'll be a little bit like a Jimmy Garoppolo plus, I think is a great comparison for Desmond Ridder. He won't turn the ball over a ton, probably only get a couple touchdowns, maybe run one in. Yeah, and I mean, that's totally fine. Desmond Ridder, Jimmy Garoppolo plus. Mac Jones, we're expecting the Patriots offense to take a step forward with Bill O'Brien. They finally got a little bit of more of wide receivers into the room. I know it's only Juju, but still Tyquan Thornton in year 2. We could see if Kayshon Boutte figures out what the hell's going on with him. He was highly touted. So I don't know. But Mac Jones, Jordan Love, kind of same thing. We don't know what to expect, but he's got good weapons. And I mean, he's going to be a starter. So pretty good. Bryce Young, right? Number 1 overall pick, quarterback, all that stuff starting for the Panthers, everything. Derek Carr, he's in this tier just because he has to be. Just not super excited about the Saints this year. I think they're really going to have some troubles. When Michael Thomas is there, they might have a couple good games, but inevitably he's going to get hurt. And it's just going to be rough. The Saints they'll have some really close games, but they're not going to be high-scoring games, and I just don't think that's going to be good for fantasy football. Ryan Tannehill, I might just put at the bottom of the C tier, to be honest. I think I like Sam Howell and Jimmy Garoppolo a slight bit more because I do see Will Levis eventually taking over. So maybe I've got to put Tannehill here with Will Levis in the D tier. Okay, yeah. But the C tier, Sam Howell, Jimmy Garoppolo, kind of rounding it out. I love Jimmy Garoppolo. I think if I had a Derek Carr, this is great right here. If I had Derek Carr in Dynasty, I might actually try to trade him for a Jimmy Garoppolo plus. I think they'll pretty much finish neck and neck in fantasy football purposes next year. So if you can get a little cherry on top of Jimmy Garoppolo and your super flex leagues to tier down from Derek Carr, because I don't really think it is a true tier down. As you see, I have them in the same tier. So, and then the D tier, these are just guys that, I mean, you know, you can start if you want to, or guys that are backups that might get some action. Andy Dalton, Taylor Heineke, Gardner Minshew is probably going to get a little bit of work to start the year. We don't know what's going to happen with Baker Mayfield, but he'll be there, you know. Yeah. But look at this tier list, guys. Take it all in all its glory. There it is one more time. And yeah, I see a question here. Max should be in the B tier for winning 8 games with no OC. And I think that's fair, but for fantasy football purposes, he just simply wasn't that great. And they run the ball so much. And Bill Belichick just wants to keep the games like close. He's not really worried about blowing them out. So I don't know. We can maybe slide him up in the C tier a little bit. Yeah, we can slide him up. We'll put him ahead of Brock Purdy. There you go. But I think he still belongs in this tier. I don't think he's quite a Jared Goff, Geno Smith, Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins, Matthew Stafford, Deshaun Watson. It's just not all there. But is he good? Yeah. Better than Derek Carr. Yeah. Probably just not quite yeah. I think right here is good. Maybe we could just put him ahead of Stroud for history purposes. You know, there we go. Okay, this is the final tier list. I think that's great. I think this looks a little better. Any concerns? Go ahead and drop the comment. We'll talk about it, you know, in the comment section. But this was fun. I think tomorrow we'll be looking at running backs, wide receivers. Just keep building tier lists this week. The OTAs are starting, so I'll work on collecting some clips from that. But let's stop sharing. That was the tier list, guys. Thanks for joining. Let me put on this new overlay. Any questions before we move on? Don't think so. So thanks for watching. As always, I hope you guys have a fantastic Monday start to your week. It's going to be great. I hope you have a fantastic week. See you tomorrow at 10 a.m. And yeah, thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Hey, you like that video? Be sure to subscribe and activate those alerts so you get notified as soon as new videos drop. And be sure to check out playerprofiler.com. We have all the tools for you to dominate every type of fantasy league. We have a draft kit, Dynasty Deluxe, data analysis, DFS Dominator, and don't forget the player rankings to rule them all.